following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. It's time once again for Casey's Take on Sports, presented by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Trapino. Now, to a man who always has a take, your host, Casey Patrick.
Good morning. How are y'all doing? I'm running a little bit low on sleep today. I was up late last night. Got to be up early today. Of course, this week is spring fling. We're going to get to that. That's the last take as usual, high school sports. But first take today, we're going to talk about the Braves. Slow start. Not a whole lot else going on in the news cycle, so I'm going to talk about the Braves because that's what I know. Second take, we're going to talk about Jimbo versus Saban. I think it's fun. Two old dudes are just barking at each other. Nobody's really going to do anything, but we'll get into that as well. And then the third take, we're going to talk a little USFL. So y'all stay right here and hang out with us today. Now, I know that I've said a few times that the Braves start slow. You see it right there. It's at the bottom. They start slow as usual. They do start slow. They always suck the first month and a half, 2 months of the season. I have gotten used to it as a Braves fan. I see a lot of other articles, or maybe like I saw a YouTube video last night where it said, "Is it time to panic?" Go ahead and panic. You want to worry yourself to death? I don't care. It's not my Dr. Bills. You want to worry about it? I don't care. Not my problem. I'm just going to go ahead and warn you, though. I think the Braves are going to eventually iron some things out, and everything's going to be okay. Now, that's not to say that the Mets aren't going to win 110 games. They might win 110 games. It's a really good team. The Phillies are going to hit a lot of home runs. They don't know how to play defense, and their pitching is a little wonky, but the Phillies are going to be right there. The Marlins can really pitch. I don't know if they can hit. What's the other team? Washington's tanking, so I wouldn't even worry about them. But if you're a Braves fan, eventually there's going to be a point where the Braves are playing fairly decent baseball, and they're playing Braves baseball. The pitchers are going 6-7 innings, 2-3 earned runs, and the bullpen's doing their night shift thing. And here's the thing: Olsen is going to hit like 250. He always has throughout his career. We'll be lucky if it's at least 250, 260. Ozuna's been about what he usually is. Acuna's got like 30 at bats this year. I mean, he didn't get any spring training. He was in the minors for like a day or two, and then we called him up. The Braves called him up, not we. Now, I don't have a problem with people that say we, but I try not to. But I think everything's going to be fine. Now, like I said, you can't control what other teams do. So if the Mets just come out like gangbusters, just destroy everybody, there's nothing you can do about that. Take your wild card spot, hopefully win your game, and play in the playoffs. Lord, my phone's going off. But that's basically my first take for today is, everybody. What is that? Oh, everybody just calm down a little bit. If you're a Braves fan, don't panic. I mean, really, it's first of all, it ain't even worth it. There's a million other things you could panic about that actually are important. But not that baseball is not important, but I wouldn't freak out yet. I think they're fine. I mean, I've gotten kind of used to the slow starts. Not that I like them, but every single year, I mean, the past few years, the first series of the week first series of the year. I'll get it right in a minute. Y'all hang out with me. I'm just going to talk until it works. But the first series of the year, it was against the Phillies like every year. They would just dog walk us. I mean, just beat the crap out of the Atlanta Braves. And it sucks to watch. I don't want to sit there and watch the Braves lose 7-2 and then 9-1 or whatever it was. I don't want to watch that. But the Braves start to pick it up. They've won the division, like 4 years in a row now? I think they're going to be fine. They got good pitching. They got guys that can hit. I think they'll be fine. It's a 162-game season, which is a lot of games. Over the course of time, everything's going to average out the way it's supposed to. If you build a crappy roster, You may have a hot start, but your roster is going to eventually crap out. That's the way that works. The Braves have what I consider to be a fairly decent roster. I think most people with a brain cell would tell you that they think the Braves have a fairly decent roster. It's going to take a little bit of time. Everybody's going to kind of, ebb and flow up and down. Everything's going to kind of average out. They're going to be fine, I think. And being fine does not mean they're going to win the World Series again. Being fine does not mean they're going to win the division again. Being fine means they're going to play Atlanta Braves baseball, which I think gives them a good opportunity to do both of those things. But there are other really good teams out there. So please don't lose your minds. We got a pretty strict schedule this week. Excuse me. Spring fling coming up. We're doing this on Monday. I usually sleep until like 2 p.m. on Mondays, but here we are. So we're gonna let's see. Ooh, that's right. I get to do my promo read. I'm getting better at this. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. Of course, DMA, they sponsored the Casey's Take. Casey's Take is brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Dr. Anthony Tropiano provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Nobody covers high school sports quite like Main Street Preps, bringing you hyperlocal coverage of the teams and athletes in your backyard. Wherever your Main Street is, well, we got a podcast just for you. On the Sumner County Sports Podcast with Zach Womble, Casey's Take on Sports with Dixon Post and Cheatham County Exchange sports reporter Casey Patrick, the MSP North Podcast with Brady McAtamney and Blaine Keller covering Montgomery and Robertson counties, to Main Street Preps this week with Russell Venozzi and Tyler Palmatier with a macro view of prep sports in Middle Tennessee. Find the latest prep sports news from your Main Street at mainstreetpreps.com and find these podcasts dropping weekly. And find these on all of our Main Street Media social platforms and wherever you get your podcasts.
My second take, this one's fun. I hope some of y'all been see they got the picture down there in the bottom. Jimbo versus Nick Saban. I love it. First of all, I don't really care about Jimbo Fisher. I really don't care about Nick Saban. Don't care about either one of the schools. I dislike Alabama. In fact, I don't give a darn about the whole state of Alabama. And if I knew my boss wouldn't send me a nasty email, I'd tell you what I really think about it. So I really hope that this just continues. I hope the whole feud blows up. I hope both of them say stuff they regret and stuff that gets them in trouble. I am here for chaos. I'm in love with this whole situation because what you have is Jimbo, who quite frankly did buy a class, which is fine because I'm a Tennessee fan, and I'm pretty sure we just did that with an $8 million quarterback. I don't care. The money's been thrown around. It's been thrown around for years, forever. These kids have been getting paid or they've been getting compensated in some kind of way. Now it's just out in the open, and you've got all these Twitter, the Facebook warriors and the old people that type in on their phone like this, and they're complaining about kids getting paid. They ought to be happy just to get an education. Sure, whatever, Jan. That's not how the world works anymore. So I'm happy that the kids are getting paid. I'm happy that it's being brought to light. There does need to be some sort of a I don't know, a rule. It doesn't need to get out of hand. It's going to take somebody to figure out exactly what needs to be done to make all that great. But when you have Jimbo, I think Jimbo embraced it. He's in Texas A&M. We all know that Texas, they care more about football than they do about God, and that's okay because that's what they care about. But they spend all of their money on football, and they're going to get out there and they're going to spend the money that they want to. Did he buy this class? Yeah, that's exactly what he did. Nick Saban wasn't wrong. What Nick Saban did, and this was his fault, is he pointed one person out, and he knows that's where he messed up. That's why he said it. He could have said whatever he wanted to about people buying players or buying classes. He could have just went on about his old man rant or whatever, the get off my lawn rant. He could have done that, and nobody would have batted an eye. But he brought up Jimbo's name. And I think it's great because Nick really made a mistake there. Like I said, he could have said whatever he wanted to, and it doesn't matter. At that point, it's like The Simpsons. The old man yells at a cloud, and that's what Nick Saban is. He's just complaining about the NIL because now other teams can compete with his recruiting. Because he's going to learn that just giving out chargers ain't going to work anymore. You actually have to pony up some cash. But I think Nick's kind of behind the curve. And him bringing up, like I said, Jimbo Fisher's name, it's almost like that the Johnny Depp trial where Amber Heard accidentally brought up Kate Moss. She wasn't supposed to talk about her. Now the defense can call on her as a witness. The whole thing's the judicial system in America is whack anyway. But the whole thing is funny because you can say whatever you want about whatever you want as long as you don't bring up somebody's actual name. And that's what Saban did. And you can you can feel it. As soon as he says Jimbo's name, that's it. That's when everything turns. Because, like I said, if Nick wants to sit there and complain, he can talk about the price of tea in China if he wants. And people are going to listen to him because he's almighty Saban. And so he's already got his audience, and he's got every person over the age of 20 in Alabama willing to sit down and listen to him, which I probably would too if I was a Bama fan. And so they've got he's got everybody listening, and he's got his own little show, and he's doing like talk show, whatever it was. He was fine. He could have said whatever he wanted, but he said Jimbo's name. And I think that's really where the whole thing goes sideways. And he knows it. And that's why he said it. But the weird part for me is people complaining about paying players. It's like, have you ever seen these young men that'll leave certain situations wherever they're at from anywhere in the country, from any background, and they go from driving their aunt's old Prius or who cares, like some 98 Taurus, and then they show up on Alabama's campus, and then they're driving around in a new Hellcat. I don't care. Again, I hope all of these young men and women in college sports, I hope they get their bag. I hope they get paid what they should get paid, because they're bringing us just as much, if not more, enjoyment as far as sports goes than professional athletes do sometimes. So I think they should be compensated for that, especially when you do have some players that give basically their all, and their bodies are no longer useful after college sports because of how hard they are used in college sports. So I hope all those kids get exactly what they need. But I can't run over now. Second take. I'm running out of time. But that's it for my second take. Y'all keep your eyes on this because this is fun. Two old dudes barking at each other. I love it. This is great for me. But now we're going to go to the third take. We're going to talk USFL. So I'll be honest. I was sitting there last night. And like I said earlier, we had to move all this stuff up because of the spring fling this week. So I'm doing my show on Monday. And I kind of ran out of time. And I was sitting there last night. I'm pretty sure it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about what my takes are going to be. And I mean, I had Braves start slow. Like I said, not a whole lot for news this week. And I don't want to talk any more basketball. And then I talked Jimbo versus Saban. I thought that was kind of important. I did want to talk about that. And then the third take, I legitimately had to sit there for like 10 minutes and figure out what I was going to talk about. And then I remembered that I watched about 3.5 minutes of USFL football the other day. And here's the deal. I don't sit down and watch television a whole lot. Now, I may watch YouTube at night. But as far as like actually sitting down and turning on the television during the day to watch some sort of program, I don't do that. That's not the way I operate. I'm usually doing other things during the day. So I want to say this was Saturday. Was it Saturday? I think it was Saturday, and I decided to watch some game between two teams. Lord, I can't even remember. Jordan Teamu, the old Ole Miss quarterback that I think he was drafted or undrafted free agent to the Chiefs. He was the quarterback for one of the teams. I thought that was cool because I always liked watching him play. I thought he was fun to watch at Ole Miss. Regardless, I couldn't get into it. I mean, I like the idea of it. You do need some kind of minor league thing for football because college athletes, I mean, not all of them succeed in the real world, and some of them don't succeed in the NFL. A lot of them don't succeed in the NFL. And, there could be some middle ground where some of these guys could develop, and maybe a few years down the road, they can be something important for a professional football team. So I think the USFL is probably a good idea. I think the XFL could have been a good idea. But and, some of these ideas they're running with, like the drone camera on the field, that is great. Here's my thing. I want to see a drone camera behind Derrick Henry when he stiff arms half of the Indianapolis Colts defense. That's where I want the drone. And, of course, it's not NFL season right now, and that's okay. I can live without NFL football right now. But I like some of the ideas the USFL has got. Some of the players are guys that, I mean, I watched them play in college or I've seen them play a little bit in the NFL. It's football. It's the same game, but I can't get into it. Maybe that's just me. And, hey, at CVP51 on Twitter, y'all follow me or don't. I don't care. But if you want to argue with me, go on there. You don't even have to follow me. You could just send me a direct message without following me and tell me that I'm wrong, which is fine. I don't care. I like to argue with people. So, I just cannot get myself to enjoy the USFL. I just can't. And I don't know if it's because the football players aren't great. And I think they're all fairly decent. I don't think it has anything to do with the talent level. It's not the Titans. And it's not college football. College football, I could watch Wyoming play North Dakota State, and I don't care. And I don't know why, but I mean, I can just sit down and watch anybody play college football. NFL, man, if it's the NFL, if it's like the Browns and the Seahawks, I'll be honest, I don't want to watch that game. Half the people on the Browns I don't like, and the Seahawks, they're not going to be very good this year. That's not the point, though. If the Titans aren't playing and it's not like or it's not, I don't know, some kind of Patrick Mahomes type deal, I don't know. I just don't want to watch it. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm not crazy about sitting around watching stuff I don't care about. Now, if it's Derrick Henry, I'll watch Derrick Henry run through a wall. Either way, y'all let me know what you think about the USFL. I believe that may be all we got for the third take, too. So y'all stay right here. We've got a little commercial coming up. These commercials are real nice. You'll like them. Just stay here with us and come on back for some high school sports.
At Dixon Medical Associates, your health is our number one priority. With over 40 providers, our goal is to bring excellent, convenient, and comprehensive medical care to our community. Dixon Medical Associates, a destination for care.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Here at Dixon Medical Associates, we've got you covered from neck to toe. Our orthopedics team offers services in sports medicine, foot and ankle reconstruction, spinal surgery, and more. We also have in-house imaging and physical therapy. Dixon Medical Associates, we specialize in what moves you.
Casey's Take on Sports is presented by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Trapino. Dr. Anthony Trapino provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Trapino is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522 today.
So, as usual, fourth take is local sports. Basically, this week is a spring fling. It's a lot of TSSAA state tournaments. No baseball and no softball for the Dixon and Cheatham area teams. But Harpeth, their soccer team, did qualify for the state tournament for the first time in school history. So congratulations to those guys. Kyler Hartley scored all 3 goals Saturday night against Scotts Hill, I believe. I was out there for about 3 hours, and I caught 8 minutes of the game because game started at like 6. And I was there watching it, and it was fun. It was a little dark off in the distance or whatever. And then one of the officials called it for lightning or whatever. I hung out until about 8:30, and then I was like, oh, they're never getting this game in. So I bounced, I left, and then they started it back up like an hour and a half after that. Harpeth was able to get the 3-0 win and qualify for state. So good for those guys. Now, no. Creekwood softball team actually lost the sectional against Lexington. I was there Friday. Creekwood's only got 1 senior, though. Well, they had 2. But at the end of the year, they only had 1 senior, and Reagan Albert didn't. She was a big part of the team. I think she hit like 5th in the lineup. She played left field, did a lot of pitching this year. But she's going to be gone, but the rest of that roster's coming back. I think Creekwood's going to be pretty good next year. You got 2 freshmen this year playing second and short. They're only going to continue to get older. Zoe England and Kendall Bryant, they're only going to continue to get better. Hannah Albert at third base, she's a monster at the plate. Elizabeth Martin, she looks like the real deal. I think she's going to be a middle of the lineup type bat. And I think she's going to be an ace pitcher. I don't want to compare her to Lennon Spicer, but I think that's the type of production they're going to look for out of somebody. So if you're a Creekwood softball fan, you're gonna enjoy watching her play for the next few years. Her older brother Jackson bowled on the Creekwood bowling team, and he's a cool kid. I like Jackson. Their whole family is really nice, and I didn't really get to know Elizabeth all that well, but wish her the best of luck. She did pitch really well, especially towards the latter part of the year, this last season. But Creekwood also has Sydney Robertson and Hannah Gossett have qualified for the state tournament, doubles tennis. Man, I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. Raken Howard and Allie Deal both qualified track and field for state tournament for Creekwood. And then I emailed Eric Hickerson, the Dixon track and field coach, the other day, and he sent me some middle school stuff. So Sarah Potter and Jaden Westmoreland from Dixon Middle School, they both, I want to say Sarah Potter won the state championship, which she was the odds-on favorite to defeat everybody. That doesn't make it any less cool. Sarah Potter is a fantastic athlete, but she won the state tournament. And then Jaden Westmoreland, I want to say he finished like 5th and 6th in the 2 events he was in. So wonderful finish for him as well. I'm trying to think, and I don't know if I got a whole lot else. I know there are some track and field athletes in the Cheatham area. It's been hard to figure out what's going on. I haven't had a whole lot of contact with some of those coaches. So, hey, like I said earlier, at CVP 51, if you got a kid or you know a kid that qualified for something, hit me up. Let me know. I want to get all the coverage I can get. But I guess that's it for the show today, boys and girls. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep, and I think I drank a green tea before we got started. Oh, well, it's a good day. Y'all have a wonderful week. It's Monday. You got a long week ahead of us. All right. Everybody's working for the weekend, so let's get to it. Y'all have a wonderful evening.